She was gone for just 3 days, and in that short time, our compound turned into a war zone of misfortune. Ngozi's shop burned to ashes at midnight. Uchenna was robbed in a bus filled with passengers, only him. Emeka barely escaped death in a brutal bike accident. Then Junior, a 6-year-old boy, started convulsing. No sickness warning, nothing. We didn't need a prophet to tell us Ada Ora had left. And now, her wrath was upon us. Let me take you back. The day Ada Ora came into our compound, I was by the tap washing clothes. I remember because my hands were wet and soapy when I saw her walking. She wasn't just entering like someone looking for rent, she came in like someone sent from the sky, wearing this outrageous green lace gown that danced with every step she took. She wasn't loud, but she carried this air, like she was royalty. She walked straight to caretaker Ezekiel Akpenonu, sat on his plastic chair uninvited, and said, "My name is Queen Ada Ora. I don't pay rent. I bring blessing where I stay and curse where I live, especially if I'm forced out." Caretaker laughed awkwardly. "Madam, no offense, this is not Nollywood. Who know they pay rent?" Ada didn't flinch. "Give me a room. Watch how this compound will flourish. Remove me with insult, and this house will crumble." Now, caretaker Ezekiel was known for 2 things, his bald head and his stubbornness. But that day, I swear, something about the way Ada talked touched his spirit. She had this calm boldness that made you listen. Long story short, she was given room 7. No rent. No form. No deposit. Just her and her green bag. Months passed. Then 1 year. Then 2. Ada never paid a dime. Every attempt to discuss rent ended with, "Are you ready for bad luck?" Nobody wanted to test her. You could laugh at her in your mind, but not to her face. People said she had dreams where she saw things. Others said she caused someone to lose their job in her old compound in Egbida. Nobody confirmed it, but everyone feared it. Even I, who didn't believe all that spiritual stuff, gave her space. She lived alone. No visitors. Didn't sweep outside. Never joined us for compound cleanup. Yet, somehow, her aura, or maybe just the fear of her, kept everything in order. Then one day, something shifted. Caretaker Ezekiel lost his younger brother. He traveled for burial and came back, different. Like he had swallowed courage. The same week he returned, he showed up with 4 touts, street boys with no shirts, dragging their slippers as they walked. No greeting. No warning. They stormed Ada's room, started tossing her things out like she was a stray cat. Ada stood there, calm, folding her wrapper slowly. "You are making a grave mistake," she said. Caretaker didn't flinch. "We know they do free rent again. Come out." She smiled slightly. "You will regret this. The compound will beg me to return." They laughed. Everyone laughed. Even me, I chuckled small. We thought it was finally over. But that was when the real story began. That very night, around 2:30 a.m., Ngozi's shop, the one that sold bread and sardines, went up in flames. The fire was too fast, too wide. Nothing was saved. By morning, she was on the floor, screaming. We gathered. Nobody knew what caused it. There was no gas. No candle. No power outage. Just fire. Before we could recover from that, Uchenna traveled to Onitsha to restock his wares. Somewhere between Asaba and Upper Iweka, his bus was stopped by armed robbers. 17 passengers. Only him was robbed. I don't know how, he kept saying. They just pointed at me, as if they knew me. Then came Emeka. He was trying to cross the road to buy cement. A bike came out of nowhere. Boom. His leg snapped. Blood everywhere. By the 3rd day, we were all looking at each other with fear. People stopped talking loudly. The compound became quiet, the kind of quiet that makes your skin crawl. Then, Junior in room 2 began convulsing. The mother screamed so loud, it echoed. The child was cold, stiff, foaming from the mouth. We didn't need more signs. Ada Ora's curse was real. That same evening, we held an emergency compound meeting. Tenants gathered with torches and wrappers tied tightly. The fear was clear. One woman whispered, "Let's bring her back before someone dies." Caretaker was sweating. I didn't know she'd react this way. Tenants started packing. In 2 days, 5 rooms were empty. Some didn't even collect balance. One man carried only his television and ran. Caretaker tried to call Ada. Her line switched off. Completely dead. People said she relocated to Cotonou. Others said she was now in a shrine somewhere. Nobody knew. But we searched. 7 days passed. Then, Levinus, that our neighbor's cousin who drinks palm wine behind the gate, came running one afternoon. I saw her. Ada. She dey Lagos market, under bridge. She dey sell onion and dry crayfish. Caretaker didn't even wear trousers. He rushed into his wrapper, called the 4 remaining tenants, those he promised free rent and 200k if they stayed till this nightmare ended, and off they went, following Levinus. They found Ada Ora. True to word, she was there, hair in net, sitting on a stone, peeling garlic. Caretaker knelt. "Ada, I beg you. Please return. I don't know what I was thinking. The house is dying." Ada stood up. "Me, come back. After how you humiliated me. We'll pay you anything. Just name it." She smiled. "You want Queen Ora back? Then I return as co-caretaker. I decide who stays. I take 50k every month. No rent." Caretaker almost fainted. 50,000. Ada sat down. "Take it or leave it." They negotiated. Finally, agreement reached, 30k monthly, co-caretaker title, and no rent forever. That evening, Ada returned. But she didn't return alone. 6 rugged people followed her. Her bridge mates. Dirty feet, torn shirts, odd stares. Caretaker wanted to complain, but his lips were sealed with fear. He welcomed them all. Compound returned to normal. Slowly, people came back. Rooms were rented. Lights were bright again. 2 full years passed. The compound slowly returned to life. Rooms were rented out again, children played in the courtyard, and people even laughed loudly at night. Everyone thought the nightmare was behind us. Ada Ora was back, the so-called queen, and her presence seemed to keep things calm, or so we believed. But then came the real twist. One hot afternoon, when the sun was so harsh it turned the zinc roofs into frying pans, Sandra and Antoinette, 2 of Ada's bridgemates who moved in with her, packed their nylon bags and stormed out of room 7. People thought they had fought over money or a man. We heard shouts, some curses in Igbo, then silence. By nightfall, when everyone had settled in, a soft knock came on caretaker Ezekiel's window. He pulled his wrapper tighter and peeped out. It was Sandra and Antoinette, standing in the dark with tired eyes. "Open this window. We need to talk," Sandra said. Caretaker enlarged the window and let them in. His voice trembled. "What is it? Why are you here?" Sandra didn't sit. She crossed her arms and looked him dead in the eyes. "That Ada you call queen. She's fake. All of it, fake." Caretaker's mouth dropped. Ada was fake. Everything she told him about curses and blessings was a lie. There was no magic. No power. Antoinette stepped forward, her voice low but sharp. Everything Ada told him was made up. The fire, the robbery, Emika's accident, all lies and tricks. Caretaker felt his knees weaken. The fire that ruined Gozi's shop was no accident. Sandra poured kerosene inside that night and lit the match. They watched it burn from behind the fence. He covered his mouth, trembling. The bus robbery was staged too. Sandra said Ada paid some street boys to block Uchena's bus. They used toy guns, but Uchena didn't know. They took only his goods, just like Ada planned. Caretaker's eyes filled with tears. Emika's accident was arranged too. Antoinette explained how Ada gave two boys 5,000 naira each to wait for him. They hit him with a bike and ran. Caretaker sank onto his wooden stool, chest heaving. Junior, the poor boy who convulsed, that one wasn't Ada's doing. Sandra said it was just bad luck. Ada never did sickness. She only used fear. Caretaker's eyes were full of tears. Why are you telling me now? She tried to turn us into her slaves. She called herself God. We had enough. Next day, police were involved. Ada Ora was arrested. Screamed all the way. You will all suffer. I am still the queen. But her magic had expired. She confessed. Got 6 months for arson, fraud, and conspiracy. By the time she returned, she was alone. Her friends had vanished. Her pride, gone. Compound, filled with new people. No one called her queen anymore. She packed her things in a rice sack and boarded a bus to her village. But even before she arrived, her shame had reached there. And so, she disappeared, the woman who turned fear into rent. And we, the people of number 14 Olenia Street, finally slept with both eyes closed.